Alright folks, we are in, this is Paragon RG, and today we are casting some top level matches. I'm going to be starting with a match between Beastyqt and HuT. I believe this is actually for the, this is a custom match, this is for the Genesis tournament, I think. So I've been keeping an eye out for matches involving the Delhi Sultanate, especially ones played by Beasty, because he has, as far as I'm told, been on a tear with Delhi, despite them getting a pretty significant nerf in the last patch. So let's keep an eye on what he does. So he is blue in the east side of the map, and the red on the west side. We have HuT, who is a very, very good player, playing as the Rus. Pretty standard build order here. You see the house, the hunting cabin, and lumber camp. Pretty normal stuff. Only 15 per minute here, so not the best wood patch for it. So that's not ideal. And in fact, yeah, he'll eventually want to head back this way once he scouts it. They're playing on King of the Hill. So looking at the mini map here, you can see a lot of the gold is in the center. These are large gold patches. And of course, the single sacred site. Looks like there's a relic in here as well, and lots of stone. So players really do want to move into the middle. Also interesting to note, there are no trees in the middle. All of the trees, this is about as close to the middle as they get. All the trees are on the outside of all of these cliffs. So that is actually interesting. That's something I didn't make proper note of before when playing this map. So having control of some of these areas, even just a chunk of that area, like, you know, making sure, you could imagine walling some of this off, or just having a strong military presence in one area. Even if you don't control the center, you are getting important resources, and those are, of course, resources you can deny from your opponent. Beasty here, getting onto his mining camp. Looks pretty standard. He's on berries, making the best of his Delhi Sultanate berry collecting bonus. And efficient production is just finishing up. So he won't need that just yet, but once he hits feudal age and is producing military, possibly even before, though I don't think there is a huge reason to do that, he can pop a scholar in it and get a pretty good boost to his military. His scout, a solid 5 sheep behind it, also being chased by 2 wolves. I was going to say, this wolf doesn't pick up the scent, but he shoots at it to grab it as well, so he'll be trying to deny as much hunt from his opponent as possible, because HuT is playing as the Rus, so he is running around killing all of the Gaia on the map in order to increase his bounty. So you can see here that he is at 210 bounty, which of course provides you extra gold right when you do it. Sorry, wrong tab. There we go. And also puts you into a tier, which provides game-long benefits. So increased villager food harvest rate is very good, and hunting cabins generating gold more often is very good as well. So that will increase the total gold generated. So we'll see here, this is now 17 per minute. Remember before it was 15? So that has gone up simply because it is actually ticking more often every, I guess, every 27 seconds instead of every 30 seconds. Let's pop back over to Beasty, see what he's up to. So he is going up now with the Dome of the Faith. No surprises there. So when this thing is up, we generally expect a few scholars to be made. Yeah, and he'll probably, I don't know if he'll make a second mosque or not, but he'll likely add, he'll research Sanctity. Okay, looks like HuT has hit the next age. We'll check him out in a second. He'll likely research Sanctity so we can take Sacred Site on the map. Remember, there's only one in this case. So Sanctity is definitely, I think some players thought this is a good map for Delhi because they can go take the site and wall it off. But first off, if there's only one site to take, your opponent only has one to deny. Additionally, that's a maximum of 200 gold per minute rather than 3 sites where you can get up to 600 gold per minute. Lastly, walling is expensive, right? Those are real resources being spent. And what are the chances that you actually hold on to that site with, you know, palisade walls? for 10 minutes. They seem pretty low to me. So Beasty hits Feudal Age. See if he rejigs. He does. Remember that in Age of Empires 4, you can start a research and then, cancel it and then do something else. And it's actually just pausing it. So Piety is not being researched right now. He's actually switched to Sanctity, but you can still, pardon me, you can see that it is still actually partially researched. So that is something to note if you did not know that. It took me quite a while to realize that, and holy, that is a lot of sheep. So Beasty's sitting on 16 sheep here. It's going to be really good for him to transition into the mid-game. He won't need farms for much later. If he gets squeezed into an area, he'll be okay because he has enough sheep to work with it. And he has a barracks here producing spearmen, and the hardened upgrade will be on its way shortly. We'll see if he adds a scholar as well, and we can see he's produced one, and there's another scholar in the queue here. So HuT, our Roost player, is bringing deer carcasses back. There must be, so there's still a couple more carcasses here, a bunch more here. So he's just got started with that, which makes sense because he hasn't been in the Feudal Age for very long. Survival techniques coming in from him, so that will speed up how quickly his villagers are able to gather from these carcasses, just to be, so hunted meat carry capacity and hunted meat gather rate, so that's not sheep, that's not berries, that is boar and deer. So you can't bring it back boar on the back of a scout, but you can bring back deer, so he will keep doing that for quite some time. Beasty does have a couple of scouts out on the map. He's moved right to the middle of the map and is mining stone. That's pretty interesting. You gotta wonder, does that mean there's going to be a castle later, and he'll try to grab this? Okay, so he's actually already built a tower here. I need to slow down my words just a little bit. So he's already got a tower there, and he is adding wall now. So he's definitely making a play for this sacred site. Now, only 2 villagers here. Seems to be more likely that he'll be adding another town center. I guess these were the villagers that built the outpost, and he's keeping them busy so they don't have to run all the way back home. They can add more outposts and so on. So he's trying to make the most of his villagers' time. It's good to respect people's time. We see double blacksmith coming in from Beasty. So, yeah, all his upgrades are clicked. Looks like he's going for pierce armor first and then ranged attack. Little skirmish here with the scouts. Beasty should be pulling out. He is definitely outnumbered. Don't know what is happening here, but this is terrible pathing. He manages to get away, and that scout will heal away slowly, but it will happen over time, so should be okay. Now, this sacred site hasn't been taken yet, and so I'm sure this is scouted, but it won't be revealed until Beasty actually starts to take it. Now, that'll happen pretty soon here. Also note, HuT has clicked up to the Castle Age, so he's likely going for Warrior Monks. We'll check in on that in just a second. Sanctity is coming in 10 seconds here, so in less than that, this sacred site will start to be taken, and in the meantime, HuT has moved in here. Beasty's going to do his best to wall this place off, but he does actually have some spearmen here, so these scholars should just be okay. And in fact, if you have 2 scholars, they can heal each other. It's pretty hard to kill scholars with scouts if you're healing them. Taking this, so that will be nice, and he is adding arrow slits, so he is fortifying this as best as he can. Yeah, only mined about 135 stone. So now I'm curious. He doesn't have enough to add fortify outpost. He is adding another. Okay, so he'll probably add arrow slits to that outpost as well. Let's see the, not so much harassment, but scouting coming in from HuT, trying to see what Beasty is up to, and if there are some stray villagers, you might as well hack away at them and cause some problems, cause some pings on your opponent's map, keep them distracted. Scholar sitting inside of this, might as well, keeps him around here so he can retake a sacred site if he needs to. There's a couple of archers here as well. I'd be surprised if he puts another gate up here. So I like this play a lot, in particular because... So I've seen this, I don't know if it was from Beasty, but a Delhi against Rus, you can capture sacred sites and wall them off. They really aren't that good at getting in with horse archers. Horse archers aren't any good at taking out walls. So you can combine horse archers with scouts. Of course, scouts can take out walls, but with towers in here, they'll have a much harder time doing that. And if these towers have arrow slits, this one has not been upgraded just yet, while this one has, then those scouts will go down as well. And there's also archers and so on. So he's going to make this as difficult, and there's that gate. He's going to make this as difficult as possible for his opponent to take. And so his opponent going into Fast Castle gave Beasty quite a bit of time to take this and sort of get in the composition and get the unit mass he wants. Horse archers plus scouts coming in from HuT. So very, very common. We're seeing this from the Rus now, and it's actually a surprisingly nasty and versatile composition. So I think Beasty's playing this fairly conservatively, right? He's not moving out too far onto the map. Still mining a little more stone here, so maybe that's for more arrow slits, and I believe arrow slits has come up here for this one, and he's getting it on this one as well. So these guys are just chipping away while it is safe. We pop back here. That army from HuT is going to pick off some villagers from Beasty. So he's at 37 economy. HuT is at 39. So small advantage here from HuT. That being said, this military is not big enough to really cause any challenges to Beasty at this time. His archers will be able to snipe off the horse archers. Pretty much in even... I don't know if it's in even quantities. I guess 70 hit points compared to 85. So these horse archers are better. 2-second attack speed, 1.5. So the archers, regular archers will actually shoot a bit faster. And he's going to try to track these down a little bit. Oh, what is this warrior monk doing? Yeah, maybe not the best from him, but he'll try a Wololo here. See if he can capture... Oh, and if he can push him... One trick you've seen players do is you sort of nudge... You know, your monk or warrior monk can't move with a relic, but they can be pushed by other units. So until they change that, players will probably continue to try to sort of push them around. So... You know, certainly Beasty has lost some units here, but HuT has lost a lot of his unit mass. Now, Beasty is walled in the carcasses, so HuT has been unable to get them. Looks like a villager went down, possibly the one that put up the wall. So 10 more horse archers coming in from HuT. But I don't think he's going to find too much. And as usual, I didn't take note of when this sacred site was taken, but it was at least a couple of minutes ago. So I'm going to say probably about 11 minutes. So we should expect that by 21 minutes, if HuT can't take it back, or at least neutralize it, then Beasty wins the game. And in fact, if HuT doesn't even feel like he has a chance to do so, then he may just call a resign. So Beasty, I really do feel like he's playing conservatively, which I think is the right play here. This horse archers won't get a ton of damage in if you are sticking to regular archers and you're not pushing too far out of your own base. Now, the Rus could go with knights. They should be pretty capable at doing that. Instead, he's actually choosing to add some siege. And of course, the warrior monk's grabbing some relics, so definitely an economic bonus for him. And in the meantime, Beasty is just trying to close off the map a little bit. So adding some walls here and there. Looks like these ones went up as well. Horse archers meeting with spearmen and archers at the front of Beasty's base. So spearmen will go down. The spearmen do a ton of DPS against these horse archers, and you see how quickly they bring them down. But these archers will be enough to drive off these horse archers, I expect. I much prefer to see horse archers used against... Oh, without that micro, though. Look at all these archers going down, and all these low health horse archers. So I think Beasty needed to pick some specific targets there and do his best to whittle down those numbers. The actual damage amount that comes in from the horse archers is quite a bit higher, so they're much better at taking out units like knights they can do so in mass within a couple of shots. Sacred Site continuing to generate quite a lot of gold. So remember, this is as if Beasty has 2 relics, so he doesn't need to grab any. And he has reached the castle age with the... Oh, we never see this landmark. This is the compound of the defender. So this makes all of his stone buildings cost 25% less stone, which means if he chooses, first off, he can put stone wall around here. And I was about to say, if he builds a keep, instead of 800 stone, it'll be 600 stone. So that is actually pretty nice if you are trying to keep this place. However, there is already a counterweight trebuchet up from HuT, and so this castle will be going down about as it comes up. Although, in fact, the trebuchet is currently aiming at these towers, which I think is just fine. It takes quite a long time to take out a castle with a trebuchet, and they'll be able to repair it as well. So you might as well take out something that you know you can destroy. And look at that. Took out about a third of its health in a single hit. So very, very nice. And has to run away with those villagers for the time being. Those horse archers will really rip them apart. So I think Beasty is going to have to push forward here. And we see his troops here hopefully meeting up with some more. Starting to stream more troops. There we go. 3 minutes until Sacred Victory. So 19.5 minutes. The game ends if Beasty still holds this. So not a bad little force here from Beasty. I don't see the spearmen upgraded. Don't see the archers upgraded though. So there we go. Both actually just clicked up to, both went up to veteran. So this is a good time for him to push out. Take down that mass. And if he can take out even one Springald, this will slow down his opponent by quite a bit. Warrior Monk running in, but I think this is a bit of a waste of a Warrior Monk. And in the meantime, Beasty's trying to buy time. He wants this castle to get up. His opponent will do his best to take out these villagers and may even succeed, but he will lose that horse archer mass. Keep in mind, you won't be able to take out... I guess the trebuchets can take out the walls. But, I mean, it seems to me like Beasty is going to get this castle up. I mean, you'd have to make a pretty... Look at that. Rebuilds the wall right away, but Beasty does lose some troops in the meantime. And I'm not so sure Springalds can shoot through these walls. Not so sure about that. I think this castle goes up. In fact, here he comes. So it comes from the north. So enough villagers on this before he notices he can get them on it to finish it, pop them in, and to be honest, I think HuT is going to lose quite a few troops here. So he needs to be careful because even if he neutralizes this sacred site, and in fact, you know, while he's contesting it, that timer is not ticking down. Unfortunately, we can't watch the timer in real time. This is just game time rather than the sacred site timer. So all the action going on right here. This castle will rip apart these horse archers. So what I'm trying to say is that if HuT isn't careful, even if he succeeds in driving Beasty off of this, neutralizing the sacred site, resetting the timer, he'll have taken too much damage, and in fact, he just calls it there. He's lost his entire mass of horse archers. So Beasty as the Delhi, beating HuT as the Roos in 19 minutes on King of the Hill. Folks, this has been Paragon RG. Hope you enjoyed this game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.